me ask you a question. When you first started playing guitar, what was the first guitar scale you learned? I would venture to say that most of you probably learned the minor pentatonic scale as your first guitar scale. And that's for good reason, because the minor pentatonic scale is very easy to use and you could really use it right away as soon as you learn it on many different songs. So to that effect, what we're going to be doing today is taking Black Betty by Ram Jam and kind of using that as our example song to learn how to break out of that minor pentatonic box that we all first learned. So grab your guitar, strap in, and let's get at it. My name is Keith. Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get at it. The song is in the key of B, so I want to run through the minor pentatonic scale in the key of B, which is the same exact box, same exact shapes, dots, if you will, as any other pentatonic scale when you're starting on the low E string. So, for example, if we have this A chord, we know the A minor pentatonic scale. But if we want to do it in B, you scooch up 2 frets. So this is an A, here's our B. Alright, that's the easy part. Now what I wanted to show you today was that diagonal pentatonic scale, which happens to be exactly what they're using in Ram Jam for this song. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the diagonal pentatonic scale, and then once we get done learning that, we'll run through that solo, at least the beginning of the solo, so I could show you how they applied it to this song. So here's the key to everything. If you want to do the diagonal pentatonic scale, I'll go ahead and throw the chart up. We're going to start at our root. We always start at our root. So if we decide that we're playing in the key of B and we're going to start at this B right here on the 7th fret of the low E string, we are going to be going back. So instead of going forward, we're going to go back 1 fret, right? So we start here, and then on the A string, we're going to hit that 5th fret, which is the equivalent to this. That's the beginning of the scale. Instead of doing that, we're going. Alright, now from there, and with that diagram up, it's still going to help if we keep that up and roll through it kind of slow, so. And then you kind of go back to home base there, and then slide up. That's our first octave. So what we did there was this. Alright, that's the beginning of that. And then to take it forward more, that is the full diagonal scale. Now, that is probably a lot to memorize. It might seem like a lot with all the dots that are on the screen, but let me just give you this tip on how to memorize that pentatonic diagonal scale, and this is going to apply across the fretboard. So the way I like to think about it is you are going to go, that first step is always back, right? So that's our flat third, right? So we go back, and then from here, we go 3 notes on that same string, and then 2 notes on the next string, and then 3 notes on the next string, and then 2 notes on the next string. So it's start with the root, 3 notes on that A string, and then 2 notes on the D string, and then 3, then 2. And it gets a little funky when you get down to the high E string. But that, I think, is the key to kind of thinking about how to play that pentatonic scale. So it alternates 3 notes on one string, 2 on the next, 3, and then 2. That's the way I like to think about it. So if you ever get lost, go back from square one, start at your root, go back, then 3, then 2. And that's how I memorize the diagonal pentatonic scale. Alright, so now let's get to the meat of the guitar solo and how it was used in Black Betty. So, the chords real quick, it's just an A to a B, and then the B to a D, and then he goes up to the solo, or actually before the solo, then he does that little, so it's kind of like that. Then he jumps into the solo. So the solo starts with that A chord, and then this is where we're going to start with that minor pentatonic scale, the diagonal pentatonic scale. Straight out of that box that I was talking. It's not even a box. We broke out of the box, straight out of that diagonal pentatonic. So it's so those are all the notes that are in that one section. Alright, now the next part of the solo would be alright, so that part right there is, again, minor pentatonic diagonal, right? So it's that's the two notes on that one string. So if you remember, and then he goes from here, all these notes again in that diagonal pentatonic scale. Then he's sliding up. This is a little out of the box, but it still works because those notes are still in there. This is actually an E, so it's then he does a fun thing. I don't think, well, this is not in that scale, but it sounds really cool. He's just doing a chromatic walk down, so it's then he does this little thing. So again, all that is in that minor pentatonic scale. It's even this part. Then he does a whole bunch of notes down here. I think you could kind of get away with just going up and down that diagonal kind of quick and make it sound decent if you don't want to memorize all the notes in that solo verbatim. I'm not a huge proponent on learning guitar solos verbatim, note for note, because it's kind of takes a little bit of the magic away. That's just my personal opinion. I think that if you're going to copy a solo, I think that's fine if you want to do it, but I also don't think it's a bad idea to add things of your own, and that's what makes it unique. So I say go for it if you want to. And if you want to learn the whole thing note for note, then do that too. But that's what I wanted to show you. He used that scale, and it's in the key of B, and we're playing this in B minor, so it actually is in the key of B minor if you think about it that way, and he's using the B minor pentatonic scale over that in that diagonal form. If the song was in the key of A minor, you would do something like this. That's the A minor diagonal pentatonic scale. So I hope that was helpful, at least in allowing you to understand how to break out of that minor pentatonic box one, as they call it, and to learn how not only is that diagonal pentatonic scale really good to, kind of learn and use, but how it's actually used in a very popular song. At least I think it's a pretty popular song. I hear it at football games all the time. So again, I hope that was helpful. If it was, please like and subscribe, and I will talk to you later. Thanks.